Chapter 5.1. Hello. Today is Monday, January 15, and there is a concert in the park. Do we need tickets? I have to get them there. How much are they? $30, but I am inviting you. Okay, thanks. Well, hello is hola. Today is Monday. Hoy es lunes, January 15, el 15 de enero, and there is hay a concert, un concierto in the park, en el parque. Do we need tickets? ¿Necesitamos entradas? I have to get them there. Tengo que conseguirlas allí. How much are they? ¿Cuánto valen? $30, but I am inviting you. $30, pero yo te invito. Ok, vale, thanks. Gracias. The word I, remember, we have seen it before. It means there is or they are. In Spanish, it's only one word. In English, it's there is or they are. So I'm giving you here an example in Spanish, so we're going to work a little bit with hay. But remember, in Spanish, when you say there is a book on the table, you say hay un libro en la mesa. But if you have more than one, you're going to say hay libros en la mesa. It's only one word. In English, it's there is and there are, but we only use one, which is hay. So in this text that we have here in Spanish, it says, ¿hay un concierto en el parque hoy? This is a question. Right? There is a concert in the park today. The person says, sí, hoy hay un concierto en el parque. Sí, yes. Today there is a concert in the park. ¿Hay que comprar entradas? Do we have to buy tickets? Sí, pero yo te invito. Yes, but I am inviting you. ¿Quieres ir después a un restaurante? Do you want to go after to a restaurant? After the concert to a restaurant? Sí, buena idea. Yes, good idea. Vale, yo te invito. Okay, I inviting you. So, in Spanish will be, ¿hay un concierto en el parque hoy? Sí, hoy hay un concierto en el parque. ¿Hay que comprar entradas? Sí, pero yo te invito. ¿Quieres ir después a un restaurante? Sí, buena idea. Vale, yo te invito. Okay? So again, what is important about this is that this is in the text that we use in different situations, hay. And remember, the meaning of hay is there is or there are. And when you say there is a book on the table, there is a concert, and so on. Now, in this section, we're going to see the difference between these two verbs. One is necesitar, which means to need, when you need to do something. And tener que, which means to have to, when you have to do something. Well, the verb tener, we have seen it before, it means possession. But when you say I have a house, I have a car. But when it goes with que, it means obligation, means I have to work, I have to study, I have to. So remember, in English you say I have to. In Spanish we say tener que. Okay. So, for example, we have situations like necesitamos comprar entradas. In this case, you are saying, do we need to buy tickets? Do we need to buy tickets? Because it's a question. Then, sí, nosotros necesitamos comprar entradas. Yes, we need to buy tickets. ¿Cuántas entradas necesitamos? How many? How many tickets do we need? Well, two. Okay. ¿Cuándo es el concierto? When is the concert? I want you to pay attention to this word here. ¿Cuántas means how many, and cuándo is when. Okay? ¿Cuántas entradas necesitamos? How many tickets do we need? Two. ¿Cuándo es el concierto? When is the concert? When is gonna be? Mañana, el 3 de julio. Tomorrow, July 3rd. ¿A qué hora? At what time? At what time? ¿A qué hora? What time? A las 6 de la tarde, at 6 p.m. At 6 p.m. Mañana creo que va a llover. Tomorrow, I think that it's going to rain. So in English, probably you will say, I think tomorrow is going to rain. Okay? ¿Necesitamos paraguas? Do we need an umbrella? No, no creo. No, I don't think so. Okay. Well, in this case you have here, yo necesito una mesa. It means I need a table. Tú necesitas viajar. You need to travel. So you see the way we conjugate the verb necesitar is similar to any verb, any regular verb. So you just drop the ending and then you add the endings for this particular verb, which is necesitar. So you have yo necesito, tú necesitas, you need to travel, él, ella o usted, these three conjugate with the same form, he, she, and you, necesita estudiar este capítulo, you need to study this chapter. Nosotros necesitamos un carro, we need a car. Vosotros necesitáis una casa en la playa, you need a house in the beach. And ellos, ellas, ustedes necesitan comer. You or they need to eat. Okay, so this is the way we need we conjugate necesitar, which is when we want to say we need a house, we need to travel, and so on. Okay, so in this case we have this paragraph. So, ¿conoces a Pedro? ¿Conoces a Pedro? Do you know Pedro? No, no conozco a Pedro, pero sé que trabaja en un banco. ¿Conoces a su hija Luisa? No, no conozco a Luisa, pero sé que es muy inteligente. Mañana Pedro y su hija vienen al concierto. Tengo que llamarle para confirmar. Vale, quiero conocerlos. So, if you want to translate this, basically it goes like this. Conoces. Conoces means when you know someone, when you are familiar with someone, to know someone. So, conoces a Pedro. And by the way, in Spanish, in English you don't use this preposition, but in Spanish it has to be used because this is the direct object and it's a person. So in this case, in English you say, do you know Peter? But in Spanish it has to be, do you know, conoces a Pedro, okay? Do you know Peter? The answer is no, I don't know Peter, but I know, I sé, yo sé, que trabaja en un banco, but I know that he works in a bank. ¿Conoces a su hija Luisa? Do you know his daughter Luisa? No, no conozco a Luisa, the same thing here. When it's a person, you use a because it's, you know Luisa in this case, right? So, do you know Luisa? No, I don't know Luisa, but I know that she is very intelligent. Mañana Pedro y su hija vienen al concierto. Tomorrow, Peter and his daughter are coming to the concert. ¿Tengo que llamarles para confirmar? Do I have to call him in order to confirm? Vale, quiero conocerlos. Okay, I want to know them. So, remember, in Spanish this will be like, ¿conoces a Pedro? No, no conozco a Pedro, pero sé que trabaja en un banco. ¿Conoces a su hija Luisa? No, no conozco a Luisa, pero sé que es muy inteligente. Mañana Pedro y su hija vienen al concierto. Tengo que llamarle para confirmar. Vale, quiero conocerlos. In English is, do you know Peter? No, I don't know Peter, but I know that he works in a bank. Do you know his daughter Luisa? No, I don't know Luisa, but I know that she is very intelligent. Tomorrow, Pedro and his daughter are coming to the concert. I have to call them to confirm. Okay, I want to know them. I want to meet them. Okay? So let's talk about conocer. The verb conocer and the verb saber, they both means to know. But in Spanish we make a difference between conocer. Conocer is to be familiar with, or to know a place, or something like that. And saber is when you know how to do something. You know, when you know how to speak Spanish, when you know how to do something, we use in those cases saber. So we're going to see first the conjugation of conocer, and then we will see the conjugation of saber. The word conocer, it means to know someone. So you're going to see that all the situations here is to know someone or a place or to be familiar with something. And you will see that when it's a person, you will see that it's connected with the preposition a, but when it's not a person, you will not see the preposition there, right? And the way we conjugate conocer is yo conozco, conozco, you see the C here, right? Conozco, conozco a Pedro, I know Peter, okay? ¿Tú conoces a Julia? The two form is conoces, conoces, And then, well, you can ask the question, ¿tú conoces o conoces tú a Julia? But again, you see in both cases, the preposition a is there. Ella, usted, conoce, conoce Madrid. In this case, you see the él, ella, and usted use conoce, but we don't use a because Madrid is not a person. Madrid is a city. Nosotros conocemos a tus padres. We know your parents. So in this case is nosotros conocemos. Vosotros conocéis ese deporte. You see in this case this is not people, so we don't use the preposition. And vosotros takes conocéis. And then ellos, ellas y ustedes conocen a Marta. Because Marta is a person. Okay? So this is the way we conjugate conocer. Yo conozco, tú conoces, él, ella, usted conoce, nosotros conocemos, vosotros conocéis, ellos, ellas, ustedes conocen. Okay? So the verb saber, on the other hand, is yo sé, yo sé. In this case, it's irregular here. You say yo sé, I know. Sé with an accent means I know. Yo sé hablar francés, tú sabes nadar, él, ella, usted sabe conducir, conducir, this is it. Nosotros sabemos ir en bicicleta, vosotros, vosotras sabéis reparar el carro, ellos, ellas, ustedes saben. One second. Okay. Reparar el carro. So in this case, remember, it means I know how to speak French, you know how to swim, she, he or usted know how to drive, nosotros sabemos ir en bicicleta, we know how to go bike, how to bike, vosotros sabéis reparar el carro, you know how to repair the car, ellos, ellas, ustedes, they know how to draw. Okay? Now, in this situation, for example, we have hello, my name is Julio, and I live in New York. I know how to speak Spanish, but I don't use it often. I know Marta, she is from Puerto Rico, and she is very intelligent. There is a concert in the park tomorrow, and I want to invite her. The concert is at 6 p.m. Well, hello is hola. My name is Julio, me llamo Julio, and I live in New York. Y yo vivo en New York. I know how to speak Spanish. I know how to speak in Spanish. So I know, remember, when it's something that isn't something that you know how, it has to be yo sé. Yo sé hablar español. Yo sé hablar español. But I don't use it often. Pero, but is pero. I don't use it often is yo no lo uso a menudo. Often is a menudo in Spanish. I know Marta. I know Marta. In this case, the verb we have to use here is conocer because it's to be familiar with. And don't forget the A. So it has to be yo conozco a Marta. Yo conozco a Marta. She is from Puerto Rico. Ella es de Puerto Rico. And she is very intelligent. Y ella es muy inteligente. There is a concert in the park tomorrow. So remember, there is hay un concierto en el parque mañana. And I want to invite her. Y yo quiero invitarla a ella. Okay? The concert is at 6 p.m. El concierto es a las, remember, at is a las 6 de la tarde. Okay? Now, we have here some expressions also with the verb tener. Remember, the verb tener, sometimes in English we use it is, so we use the verb to be. In Spanish, we use the verb to have. So these expressions has to be used with the verb tener. For example, tener frío is to be cold. For example, you can say, yo tengo frío, I am cold. Or tú tienes frío, you're cold. Ella tiene frío, she is cold, and so on. Tener prisa is to be in a hurry, or to be in a rush. Yo tengo prisa, I am in a rush. Ella tiene prisa, she's in a rush. Nosotros tenemos prisa, we're in a rush. Tener calor is to be hot, to be hot. So I am hot, it's too hot. Tú tienes calor, you're hot. Ella tiene calor, she's hot, and so on. Tener años, in this case, is when you say I am 20 years old, you are 15 years old, and so on. So in Spanish, yo tengo 20 años, I am 20 years old. Ella tiene 30 años, she's 20 years old, and so on. Tener sed means to be thirsty. Yo tengo sed, tú tienes sed, ella tiene sed. Tener hambre is to be hungry. Yo tengo hambre, tú tienes hambre, ella tiene hambre. Tener ansiedad is to be anxious. Yo tengo ansiedad, tú tienes ansiedad, ella tiene ansiedad. So, and also in this chapter we have these words that are ending with al in Spanish, and they are very similar in both languages. So abdominal is abdominal in Spanish. Actual, actual. Digital, digital. National, nacional. Immortal, well, in this case you see mm, in Spanish becomes nm. So immortal is inmortal. Rural, rural. Traditional, tradicional. Tropical, tropical. Okay? Now, for example, let's work a little bit in what we have done so far, and let's see, if we can practice a little bit. For example, how do you say I in Spanish? Yo. How do you say in Spanish he? Él. How do you say in Spanish we, masculine? Nosotros. How do you say in Spanish you, informal, singular? Tú. How do you say they, masculine? Ellos. How do you say you, formal, more than one? Ustedes. So, do you remember how we say to speak? To speak. Hablar. Do you remember how we say to eat? Comer. How do you say to live? Vivir. How do you say to want? To want something? Querer. How do you say to have? To have a house? Tener. Tener una casa. And how do you say I have to work? Tengo que trabajar. How do you say to write? Escribir. How do you say to read? Leer. How do you say I speak Spanish? I speak Spanish. Yo hablo español. How do you say she speaks Spanish? She speaks Spanish. Ella habla español. How do you say you, formal, one person, speak Spanish? Usted habla español. How do you say I don't speak Spanish? I don't speak Spanish. Yo no hablo español. How do you say you eat? You eat. Tú comes. How do you say I eat? Yo como. How do you say we eat? Nosotros comemos. How do you say we don't eat pizza? We don't eat pizza. Nosotros no comemos pizza. How do you ask, are you eating pizza? ¿Comes tú pizza? How do you ask, is she eating pizza? come, ella, pizza. How do you say I speak Italian? Yo hablo italiano. How do you say he reads, reading? She reads. Ella lee. How do you say she reads a book? Ella lee un libro. She eats a book in the morning. She reads a book in the morning. Ella lee un libro en la mañana. How do you say you read? You read. You meaning one person, informal. Tú lees. How do you say you read a book? You read a book in the morning. Tú lees un libro por la mañana. How do you say I read a novel? Yo leo una novela. Yo leo una novela. How do you say I have a car? Yo tengo un carro. How do you say I am 20 years old? I am 20 years old. Yo tengo 20 años. How do you say she has a car? She has a red car. She has a red car. Ella tiene un carro rojo. How do you say I have to work today? I have to work today. Yo tengo que trabajar hoy. How do you say we have to travel next week? We have to travel next week. Nosotros tenemos que viajar la semana que viene. How do you say you don't have to eat? Tú no tienes que comer. How do you say to write? Escribir. How do you say to speak? Hablar. How do you say to eat? Comer. How do you say to live? Vivir. How do you say querer? To want. To want. How do you say tener? To have. How do you say escribir? To write. How do you say to read? Leer. How do you say I? Yo. How do you say you, informal, one person? Tú. How do you say he? Él. How do you say she? Ella. How do you say you, formal, one person? Usted. How do you say we, masculine? Nosotros. How do you say we, feminine? Nosotras. How do you say you, informal, more than one person? Only in Spain. Vosotros or vosotras. How do you say they, masculine and feminine? Ellos and ellas. How do you say you, formal, more than one person? Ustedes.